You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
I'm now joined in studio by Samantha Kelly. Samantha was on the show a couple of months ago with me. She had just appeared on Dragon's Den at the time, and her business was Funky Goddess. Good morning, Samantha, and thank you very much for joining me again this morning.
Good morning, Karl.
Samantha, as I said, the last time you were on the show, we were discussing the success of the Dragon's Den. Tell me about your business life since then.
Well, Karl, would you believe, since our last conversation, after the Dragon's Den, unfortunately, that investment didn't actually materialise. So what I did was I continued with Funky Goddess. My problem always at the start was that I needed to get the cost price down for the box, so I needed to order in bulk. So because I didn't have the investment that I needed, I kept going, got into lots of pharmacies, Sam McCauley's, places like that, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. I kept going. I was still pushing it. I was getting lots of orders in, but I actually couldn't cope with the demand. And also, I wasn't getting paid up front. So, unfortunately, I never got into the position where I could buy in bulk to make it cheaper. So, the margin was too tight. So, I kind of had to make a decision, which was a very difficult decision to make. And I'll just say to other business owners out there, I mean, sometimes there comes a time when, you know, just because I'm so ambitious and I was having great fun doing it, one night we were actually sitting around the fire, myself and my daughters, and I went, we'd no heat, no oil. And I said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. So I just made the decision and stuck with it reluctantly. Like, I had to make a decision. So I closed Funky Goddess.
When was that?
That was just before Christmas, actually, in December. Now, I've kind of shelved it at the moment because, like, I was still getting orders. There was still demand there, so I didn't know what to do. So at the moment, it's shelved. And
how did you feel after making that decision?
There was a mixture of relief, but also I was quite upsetting. You know, I had put a lot of energy into it. I'd really got out there. I really, you know, went and I've had so much help. You know, Brendan Ennis, Tony Ennis. I mean, I've had a lot of supporters there, like egging me on, you know, but it was just when it came down to it, which, like a lot of businesses, it came down to cash flow and not having the cash.
So since then, what has been going on?
Well, since then, I don't know, you know my reputation on Twitter. I'm a bit of a tweeter. Irish Biz Party is something I set up one night, actually, when I was feeling a little frustrated with the system. I decided on Twitter that I would have an Irish Biz Party. Because I have a lot of followers, I've over 6,700. I said to people, look, if you have a business, tweet it to me and I'll spread the word. I'll retweet it for you. So this kind of went on all night. And then eventually people said, oh God, can we do this next week? Because loads of people got involved. It started trending in Ireland. So we've continued it since. So every Wednesday night from 9 to 11 on Twitter, just use the hashtag Irish Biz Party. And because I was doing all this and I was connecting people, like, for example, someone came on and said, look, I need a plumber. And I said, oh, hang on, such and such is a plumber. And so I'd connect them on Twitter. And so people were actually doing business. So I was being watched, you know, my efforts were being watched and people were watching what I was doing, you know. I also got a bit of bullying on Twitter, which was not a very pleasant experience, but it was basically just people who were jealous, that just were feeling a bit threatened by the fact I was doing something and it was working. You will get that everywhere. There'll always be one or two people like that. But you know what? I handled it. I blocked them, which you can do on Twitter. But the way I handled it was being watched, you know. So I was told, a lot of people rang me and said, okay, you handled that very dignified and stuff. So what I did was on people's radars. Didn't realise I was. And then Bill Lau was very helpful to me. I asked him for some advice about what to do about Funky Goddess and stuff. And it turned out that we both had something in common, that his daughter was diabetic and so was my daughter. So we kind of built up a relationship there.
And how did that relationship start?
It started just with me asking him for help. I actually asked him, would he come to an Irish Biz Party get-together that we had in Kinsale.
Okay, and all of this was on Twitter?
Yeah. And so I said, look, will we have a little real life get-together? So I organised it in Kinsale because I was on holidays in Kinsale at the time. And Bill Lau just lives up the road, so I asked him would he mind popping into the barbecue as well, and he said yes. And everyone was like, how did you get Bill Lau to go? And I was like, I just asked him, and he was really nice, and he gave us loads of tips about doing a pitch and stuff, and we all had a barbecue. It was a really, really nice evening. So so he kind of gave me some, I suppose, tips and confidence and to change my way of thinking, as well. He's a brilliant, he's a really cool guy. But also I met his daughter, he met my daughter, and we went out to dinner, and, the girls have met and they're friends now. They Skype each other regularly. So I had mentioned to Bill that I was going to close Funky Goddess, and I kind of said, look, God, will you keep your ears open for me, if he hears anything. And so he introduced me to Lyndon one day. And Lyndon Wood is, he's an entrepreneur, he's a millionaire businessman who set up Morehouse Group and constructaquote.com. He wrote a book called Diary of a Fortune Hunter. He's really cool as well. And he was looking for somebody to manage the community on his new website, which is called Sunzu.
Okay. What is Sunzu all about?
Sunzu is very exciting stuff. It's an online social and business network. It's a platform. It was called ecademy.com. Now, I'd never heard of them before, but they're going 10 years apparently. And so Lyndon took it over and he decided, right, I'm going to build a platform now where people can, people run businesses. Okay. So it's for the people behind the businesses. It's kind of the same kind of vision that I would have had with Irish Biz Party. It's basically about sharing knowledge with each other, inspiring each other, mentoring each other. There'll be startups, there'll be intermediate, advanced businesses. It'll be the voice of business, basically. And it's not going to be like any other website. It's going to be, there's blogging, there's articles, there'll be social gatherings. You'll be sharing knowledge with each other. And it's just such a different thing. Like people say, oh, is it like LinkedIn? No, it's not like LinkedIn at all. And I've seen the new platform. The new platform is launching the end of January and it is super cool. It's state-of-the-art technology. It's just going to be amazing. And there's going to be places where you can trade with each other. There will be real-life meetups. It's just all very exciting. I'm very optimistic about this now. How
can local business people in across County Wexford benefit from it?
Oh, we already have some local business people from Wexford on it. What we do is normally the best way to get noticed is to start blogging. Like for me, for example, like the SEO is the Google hits for Sunzu are really high. So if you go and let's say top tips for using Twitter, like if you put that into Google, like most likely I'm on the first page, my tips, because I blogged about it on Sunzu. So it's great for that. It's great for getting your name out there. And also I run the Twitter account, Sunzu Social. So if you put a blog up, I tweet it out to my followers. There's about 7,000 at the moment. And it's just a great way to get your name out there. It's great. We'll be having local meetups. I'm the women's ambassador. And because I'm based in Wexford, I'll make sure that the Wexford businesses get to the best events, that we'll be having. So it's all very exciting. I can't believe, I'm really proud to be part of it. And I just can't believe, to be honest, that my journey that I've been on, how I ended up, it just shows you could start a business and be doing something and then totally different a year later, and it's brilliant. I love it. So
the Irish Biz Party on Twitter is what has led you to Sunzu today. Apart from being the women's ambassador, what's your role within Sunzu?
My role is I monitor the blogs because you might get the odd idiot that might try and stir up trouble and stuff like that, like any other social network. So I monitor the site. I have a Women's Entrepreneurs Alliance. A lot of Wexford women are actually involved in that already. And we've a forum, we inspire, we share, we support each other because, people run businesses. When it comes down to it, I remember when I started the business, I used to feel very intimidated going into meetings and networking events because I really didn't have a clue, and it's just to help each other, inspire the startup, but also the startup can help us, by sharing their knowledge with us, I'll be doing networking events for the Women's Entrepreneurs Network nationwide and in the UK. We'll be having big events. If I have one in Wexford, obviously it'd be great for Wexford too, because it'll be business for wherever I happen to have it, and it'll be it's just going to be huge because Bill Lau is involved, and Lyndon, and these two guys are really top class, you know.
So Sam, how can this benefit the average business person, let's say, that's not into blogging?
Well, okay, let's say, for example, Mick the carpenter, like let's say he wants to go on it. There's a lot of information. So first of all, he could sign up and then he can have a look at the blogs. There's tens of thousands of blogs there from every subject. If he wants to have a look and get some advice, if he's not sure, he can put one up himself. He can put a question up himself and someone will answer for him. There's over 600,000 members already. So potentially that's how many people will see it. And also there'll be a section where he can advertise his services. And that's brilliant, you know. And so that's the benefit you're getting. Like, there's that advantage. There's also, you know, the gatherings. He's going to make new contacts at the gatherings as well. And if he's not sure at all, like, there's loads of people there that will assist him. It's a really open, lovely community. There's some really good people on there and people who are there and willing to help, you know, and I'll be there too. So if Mick the carpenter needs help, he can just contact me. So
there's 600,000 members on Academy at the moment. At the end of this month, it's going to transfer over onto sunzu.com. What's the target in terms of members for 2013?
The target for membership will be 1 million members by the end of 2013. The new platform is launching the end of January, beginning of February. I've seen it. It's cool. It's nothing like the way the platform is at the moment. Academy.com is a totally different thing. So I'm just really excited about it, and there's a bit of a buzz going on about it too now. And
what's the strategy for increasing the membership by almost doubling it?
I think when people see the new platform, they're just going to want to join. We will be having a big launch for when the new platform launches. We'll actually, and also Lyndon will be speaking at the Sunday Business Post digital conference on the 7th of March. So that'll start it all off and kick it all off. And he's also going to the States. He's going to LA next month. So this is a global community. You're not just hitting Wexford. You're not just hitting Ireland. You're hitting a global community here, you know, so it's brilliant.
That all sounds very exciting, Sam. You mentioned earlier on that you have over 6,700 followers on Twitter now. Tell me, what's the secret behind that?
The secret is interaction. I think, for me anyway, I interact a lot with my followers and I retweet them. If you retweet someone, they remember, and then if you put something interesting up, they'll retweet you. Make sure your content is interesting. Like, you know, if you see a good article, put it up, you know, share it with everybody else. If you have any good tips, share them. Interaction really has been, I think, what worked for me. I do try and mix a bit of my personality in my tweets too, though. Like, you know, it's not all business tweets. There's a bit of mischief in there too, and a bit of humour, you know, and I think that's nice as well for them to see the human side, you know.
How much of that following have you got from your existing followers retweeting you and developing contacts from there?
I'd say most of them, you know. I mean, it's I get some followers and I'm like, how on earth did that person find me, you know? And it might be someone in Illinois who plants flowers or something, you know, and I'm like, why are they following me? But they might have liked something I said about, you know, it might have been a quote, you know. Lyndon has this quote that I often put out there, and it's, why spend your whole life trying to fit in when you were born to stand out, you know, and I love that quote, you know. So sometimes I put quotes up like that and people like them, you know.
He's certainly a guy that stands out, and I came across a video on YouTube there recently. Tell me a little bit about that.
Lyndon is cool. He's quirky. He's straight talking. There is a video of him on YouTube. It's called "Standing Out in Business: How to Stand Out in Business." He wrote a book as well called "Diary of a Fortune Hunter." I'd recommend you watch it. It's pretty cool. It shows him he genuinely does want to share his knowledge and help other businesses, and he wants this to be a good community. No negative. Keep the positive. Let's get out there and beat the recession type thing, you know.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Think Wexford Insurances for your business insurance.